They say the eyes are the window to the soul, but for millions of people around the world, those windows are getting dimmer every year. Vision loss is one of the most feared conditions because once your world begins to blur, you realize how much of life depends on your sight reading, driving, recognizing a loved one's smile. Doctors have long told us that once the cells in your eyes begin to die, that's the end. But what if that story wasn't completely true? What if nature had been hiding secret allies in plain sight, plants and herbs that not only protect your vision, but actually help your eye cells repair and regenerate? Science is finally catching up with what ancient healers hinted at centuries ago, and the results are nothing short of shocking. Imagine this: the small purple berry growing in northern forests, once carried by World War II pilots in their pockets. They believed it sharpened their night vision during bombing raids. And though doctors dismissed it as folklore, modern studies now show that bilberry, packed with anthocyanins, does in fact improve circulation to the retina and boost the eye's ability to adapt to darkness. It isn't just a tale from old soldiers, it's a plant with measurable effects on how light-sensitive cells function. Think about what that means: a berry so ordinary it could grow in your backyard, holding compounds powerful enough to strengthen the very tissues that let you see in the night. And then there's the ancient tree whose leaves look delicate but hide an astonishing power. Ginkgo biloba, revered in Chinese medicine, has compounds that dilate tiny blood vessels, including those that feed your eyes. When blood flow to the optic nerve weakens, vision fades. But ginkgo works like a microscopic plumber, opening up the pathways so oxygen and nutrients can reach the fragile cells before they die. Some researchers even argue it slows down the progression of glaucoma, a disease that silently robs sight. Picture a person standing at the edge of blindness, yet a simple extract from one of the world's oldest trees might slow the creeping darkness. Inflammation is the silent assassin of vision. It damages the retina, the macula, even the delicate cornea. And that's where turmeric steps in. Hidden in the golden powder that flavors curries is curcumin, a molecule so potent at reducing inflammation that scientists are testing it in eye drops to treat uveitis, a painful condition that clouds vision. Every pinch of turmeric sprinkled on food is more than a spice; it is a microscopic shield guarding against cellular fire. And perhaps the most surprising discovery is saffron, the crimson threads that once cost more than gold. For centuries it was prized for its color and aroma, but today researchers are uncovering that saffron can actually improve visual function in patients with age-related macular degeneration. Imagine a grandmother whose world had faded into blurred shapes being able to read again because of a flower that blooms in the dry soil of the Mediterranean. The story doesn't stop there. Green tea, that humble drink sipped daily across Asia, carries catechins that travel from your cup directly to the tissues of the eye. Studies have found these antioxidants in the retina and aqueous humor just hours after consumption, reducing oxidative stress that otherwise eats away at cells. A simple daily ritual of tea becomes, without fanfare, a quiet act of defense against blindness. Eyebright, a wildflower with a name that almost gives away its secret, has long been brewed by herbalists for eye health. Today we know it contains tannins and flavonoids that reduce inflammation and fight bacteria, making it a natural helper for irritated eyes and even conjunctivitis. Sometimes tradition was not superstition, it was observation waiting for science to confirm it. Think of the fresh smell of parsley, often dismissed as garnish on a plate. Hidden in those green leaves are lutein and zeaxanthin, two carotenoids that act like sunglasses for the retina, filtering harmful blue light that modern screens bombard us with daily. People who consume parsley regularly unknowingly strengthen their macula, the part of the eye responsible for sharp central vision. Cilantro, its cousin with a sharper flavor, delivers vitamin C and beta-carotene, both of which play roles in reducing oxidative damage. It's as though nature tucked little eye shields into the herbs we casually sprinkle on food, and most of us never realized it. Then there are fennel seeds, tiny and fragrant, known in traditional medicine for clearing the eyes. Modern science shows they are rich in antioxidants and compounds that may reduce pressure inside tea. Eyes. High intraocular pressure is a major risk factor for glaucoma, so a handful of fennel tea or seeds after meals could be doing more than aiding digestion. It could be preventing the slow thief of sight. Rosemary, another kitchen staple, rounds out this hidden pharmacy. Carnosic acid, one of its compounds, has been studied for its protective effect against oxidative stress in retinal cells. The aroma of rosemary may stir memories of roasted meats or Mediterranean hillsides. But within its oils are molecules that quietly preserve vision. Together, these 10 herbs weave a narrative that feels almost mythical: berries that let pilots see in the dark, golden powders that quench inflammation, flowers that restore fading eyesight, teas that wash the eyes in antioxidants, and common kitchen greens that block the harmful light of our digital world. But this isn't fantasy, it's evidence. Scientific journals are increasingly filled with studies confirming what traditional healers observed, that certain plants are not only supportive but transformative for ocular health. Skeptics might ask, can herbs really regrow eye cells? The cautious answer is that they do not create new eyes from scratch, but they can protect surviving cells, reduce the stress that kills them, and in some cases stimulate repair processes that restore function. It's like rescuing a forest fire before every tree is gone. Save enough of the surviving trunks, and the forest can grow again. Our eyes are resilient when given the right nutrients, and these herbs deliver precisely the compounds that cells crave to heal. This raises an urgent question: why aren't more people using them? Partly, it's because pharmaceutical companies focus on drugs that can be patented, while plants, growing freely in nature, cannot be monopolized. Partly, it's because most of us never believed that healing could come from something as simple as a sprig of parsley or a cup of tea. And partly, it's because we are conditioned to think decline is inevitable, that once vision fades, nothing can stop the darkness. But nature has been whispering another story all along. Think of the implications. A middle-aged man noticing the streetlights blurring at night might turn not to expensive procedures but to a daily regimen of bilberry and green tea. An elderly woman fearing macular degeneration could find hope in saffron and parsley. A student glued to screens for 16 hours a day might preserve sharp vision by embracing rosemary, cilantro, and turmeric. The herbs are not exotic. They are accessible, affordable, sometimes sitting unnoticed in the kitchen cabinet. The only thing missing is awareness. But before you rush to fill your pantry, there's wisdom and balance. These herbs are potent, but they are not magic bullets. They work best as part of a lifestyle: eating whole foods, protecting eyes from excessive screen time, wearing sunglasses against UV light, sleeping well to allow cells to recover. They are allies, not miracles, and they demand consistency. A single cup of tea won't save your sight, but daily habits over months and years build a fortress. There's also caution: too much of anything can harm. High doses of ginkgo can thin the blood, excessive saffron can be toxic, herbs can interact with medications. The lesson is not to consume blindly but to integrate wisely, guided by research and moderation. What excites researchers is not just the prevention but the possibility of reversal. Studies on saffron show not only slow degeneration but actual improvement in visual acuity. Trials with curcumin eye drops reveal reduced inflammation and clearer vision. Antioxidants from green tea appearing in retinal tissue prove that what we eat can cross the barrier and reach the very cells that process light. Every discovery chips away at the fatalism that blindness must be accepted without a fight. So where does this leave us? At a crossroads of knowledge and choice. For centuries, humans stumbled in the dark, literally and figuratively, not knowing how to stop the loss of vision. Now, we stand with evidence that the earth's plants hold keys to unlocking resilience in our eyes. The question is whether we will listen. Will we dismiss herbs as old wives' tales, or will we recognize them as quiet guardians that science has finally vindicated? Imagine a future where aging no longer means surrendering your sight. Where herbs in your diet act as daily repair crews patrolling your eyes, fixing damage before it accumulates. Imagine explaining to your grandchildren that yes, people once thought blindness was unstoppable, but then we discovered bilberry, saffron, turmeric, and more could turn back the clock. History might look back at this moment as the time humanity opened its eyes literally to the gifts around us. The eyes are the most precious camera you will ever own, and unlike gadgets, you cannot replace them when they wear out. But you can feed them, shield them, restore them, and perhaps even regrow what was thought lost. The 10 herbs are not secrets anymore. They are an invitation. An invitation to take control of your vision, to refuse decline as inevitable, to let science and nature work together instead of apart. So the next time you brew tea, sprinkle turmeric, or garnish with parsley, remember, you are not just seasoning your food, you are seasoning your future. You are making a choice to protect the windows through which you see the world. And perhaps, just perhaps, you are regrowing the very cells that let you gaze at the sunrise, read your favorite book, or recognize the sparkle in a loved one's eyes. Vision loss does not have to be your story. With knowledge, with nature, and with these 10 humble herbs, you may be able to write a new ending, one where the world stays vivid, bright, and beautiful for years to come.